I want to thank you all for allowing me to do this build. Like, I would not have ever been able to do it without you. I'm literally just, you know, the person who put the material to the canvas, and you all enabled me to do it. That's huge. Everybody who went and bought through my Amazon store, you guys made it like a record month last month. That was huge. All these things allow me to keep creating things and actually give me the inspiration to do this. Because honestly, I personally did not have the motivation to pull this build off. I did not have it alone by myself. It had to come from everybody else cheering me on to do this. Hugely appreciated. Check out, I think it's like close to 20 videos now. It'll probably be closer to 25 by the end of the series. That's the biggest series, the most complete series that I have, and showing you everything from the highs to the lows to the struggles to the wins of the entire process. What it takes to bring a boat from utter crap like this to a boat now nearing the edge of perfection. Something that, in my opinion, really gives justice to this classic. It's like restoring a classic car almost, putting all the effort in and making it badass again. And we're gonna do that, and we're gonna use it, and just can't wait. Just check it out. You got to see it. I'm gonna stop talking. We're using 1/2-inch plywood. This is 5-ply project plywood, and we're giving it a few cuts and getting our hatches in order. Make sure you get like a plywood deal. Makes all the difference when you're cutting. As you cut with a regular saw blade, the wood's gonna splinter on the edges. It's gonna not make for a good deal. After I've got all my cuts in line, I'm taking this 3/16" hardwood sheet, and I'm making a bunch of little cuts to create the lip around the edge for my hatches so I can begin the installation process. I know some of you hated on the Stanley stapler, but that staple gun has legit built like 10 boats. Somebody from my audience suggested that I do not paint anything until I have all the hatches made and complete. Sounds like a pretty good idea to me. They are done for the moment. We're gonna take them into the backyard and paint. Today we are going to be painting with epoxy seal. So Bobby recommended trying epoxy-based paint versus oil-based paint, stated that it's better overall. So we're gonna actually test that theory today with Sealcrete, epoxy seal, concrete, and garage floor paint, which probably is some really durable stuff if we're talking about in terms of durability versus oil-based. So I'm hoping for some good thing. I'm hoping for some good adequate soakage among all these panels, and overall a good adhesive for the carpet. The whole reason I went through that trouble with that 3/16" lip from that hardwood was to make a really nice inner lip that looks super clean, and B, to insulate this with reflective bubble wrap or any sort of like reflective tape, or even windshield visors work, which is actually what this is from. You can cover over the insulation with a topping of your choice. You can staple into the pockets and leave it there, or you can give it some sort of lining. Here I'm using aluminum flat bar. It's my favorite thing to line my hatches with. So now we just gotta put some carpet decals on the top. If we're gonna run clips or anything down on the bottom, we're gonna run those now and install those now before we really get too far into the build. What we're going to do now is make the hinges. Pardon the mess. It is what it is. We're gonna do this. We have this just clamped in spots. I just have this on a 2x2 just so we can drill into it without drilling into it. What we will have to do is you're gonna offset. So if you do one here, 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 you skip every other one, and then that's here. So that'll give the rivet head room to sit in. You don't want two rivet heads on top of each other binding in. That would be the bad thing. We're using some arrow rivets. Now, there's between these, like, I really like the Harbor Freight rivets. Or arrow rivets are legit, true, all aluminum pop rivets. I mean, the core here is all aluminum. The other ones have a steel core, so they pull tighter. But in this situation, it's not going to be a big deal. I have a ratcheting riveter, like a one-handed. It's actually pretty cool. Not as nice as a pneumatic or an electric. I'll be getting an electric riveter here pretty soon. I have been listening to the Why Don't You Get Better Tools, Mike. I have been listening to that. I need to do that during an off time when I'm not spending all my money on materials. And that's gonna come here. I might have like a week break before the chaos begins again. 3/16 inch black oxide drill bit. You want this to be perfectly lined right here, because if this sinks just a little bit low below the lip, I swear it'll bind and it won't line up right, and you will hate it. You will have to re-drill, which sucks. It's a super thin piano hinge. Now that the angled aluminum is attached to the piano hinge, we can now start making the slots where the hinge actually attaches to the hatch into the frame. So that's what we're doing. We're drilling all these holes, and then we're going to countersink them. .1/16 aluminum is so thin that we are having to kind of very, very carefully bevel out to make a countersink, and so the screws can fit in flush. Be very careful or you'll screw the whole hinge up. Because I couldn't find the shortest rivets, I have to shave the heads off of these slightly to make sure that they're going to fit flush with the hatches. Okay, so now that we have these cut, here's where we do the hinges. You'll have to cut these in sections. Really, when you make them linked like that in bulk, it's the easiest way, because then after that, all you're doing is just cutting and screwing in, making sure you put some silicone there before you screw completely into the wood, and then attaching it directly to the frame. 1/16 inch aluminum is so thin, it doesn't create any sort of gap that you need to have an overlay piece to straighten it out. Not like 1/8. 1/16 is actually very, very versatile all around. Here we're just using a strict rivet nut. I also started using rivet nuts because a lot of this needs to come off and it cannot be permanently placed there. It needs to be able to be taken off, especially that side piece that holds all the wiring. And now it's time to install the Pergo Pull latches. They're really cheap. They're at my Amazon store. They're perfect for these applications. They're like $4. I'm using a hole saw with just a wooden hole saw from Harbor Freight, just a little kit, and it's getting the job done. I'm making sure I'm siliconing all the spots in, including the holes where we're gonna, drill the screws in. The screw's just gonna take the silicone right into the wood as it goes through, as we're doing it here. I painted all these so they won't rust. But if you have a dry hatch system, it's highly unlikely that they will ever rust. we're at this part where we're going to put Jason Braun from TBNation Shirts and Decals made all these awesome carpet decals and all the other decals for the boat. If you want to check his stuff out, it's right here. Check him out on Facebook and Instagram. Because gator skins is everywhere on the boat, that carpet is not. We're definitely trying to represent them. Okay, now it's already where you can start to see the, ooh, that's really hot. It got hot really quickly. But see how it didn't even melt? See how that started to wilt a little bit? That's just with a little bit of pressure on it in the max setting. I have it on max setting 6 because that's how I'm used to it. You can put it on 4 if you're going to be a little cautious. But it's already on there. So we're going to clearly go back over it again. And so that's not quite in there. So we'll go a little bit over it again. Make sure we see it's starting to wilt. Be careful of the wilt. You just want to avoid the wilt. All right, I think we avoided it for the most part. Ow, that's on there. Yes, it is. All right. And if this ever starts to come off at the corner, remember, save this paper and then put it right over here and iron it again, and it'll go right back on. Okay, here I'm gonna stop the video right here. So there are things that I need to do really, but they're like fine-tuning things. So I'm gonna talk about what's been done and then what's going to be done. So we got most of this taken care of. I'm gonna reroute the wires back so they're hidden even more, but I got all that taken care of, all that mess, and then I'm gonna get some looming to clean it up even more. So the wire setup itself is pretty clean. I got pad eyes here so that battery can't move and flap around. I have this down here for the live well. We installed a pump, flow right in and out bilge, and that was for the live well. Because the live well had a flow-through system that will only work when the boat's staying still. It will not work while it's on plane. And so we added a recirc deal and also a recirc / pump out deal. So it'll pump out old water. And that's a big deal because bluegill or bass, any type of like, lake fish, really pollutes the water very quickly. So routinely cycling that out. That could be the difference between dead fish or half-dying fish or fish that are nice and sassy and ready to be released. And we gator skin the top of this. Everything we tried to put gator skins on, we did. I just have to attach this. I'm probably gonna do it in a different way, just given how this is. And this is where the rod holders are gonna be. They're gonna sit flush against the panel. I already have the panel, but I'm gonna run courtesy lights underneath each seat, flooding into here. So the bottom part is fully taken care of in conjunction with the courtesy light there. This is the battery hatch with an onboard battery charger that will charge the main 2 batteries. I don't have a charge. It's only a 2 bank. But I'm giving it to him. And I'm also going to install a right here when I secure this panel completely down. I'm going to install the actual plug for the battery charger so he can just stick like a socket right in there. That's going to be coming here. That's one of the more fine-tuned things to do. The cup holder here, we have to strut this one. This one will be strutted just like the rest. These will be strutted. But we stuck the main cluster of the people who support him currently all over the boat. So, but he has free panels, so as he picks up more sponsors, which he will, and he has all these panels free here. I might put a black TBNation decal back here just to give him something back here, but he can have the rest of the panels free, the other 4 or 5 panels free. Under here, this piece was slightly complicated, but we're gonna have like rundowns that make it complete so it doesn't look raw. And then here we're also, some people gave me a little bit of feedback for putting the switch here, but I'm gonna end up running the switch here with like a plate over it so it hides all this and it kind of just connects right into the console and it's hidden. And really you want a cutoff closer here, and really you want a cutoff for the console here, because why would you want it back there closer? Because what if that's on fire again? Are you gonna go reach out into the fire and shut the electricity off, or do you want the electricity to be shut off right here? Because that's like rule 1 to try and shutting down an electrical fire is you cut the electricity, otherwise the fire will keep on going. And then purple K powder. The pump works up and down. All the other pumps work. The best it can be right now, despite the transom, But we decided to hold off the transit for time constraints and budgeting reasons. And later on, when he gets a new motor, who knows what'll happen in the future. Cleaning it up, we're going to rebuff out the old paint on that nice 50 horse Merc, which is an awesome motor. Man, it's been 40 years in the making, and it's been through everything and still runs. I mean, obviously it hasn't had the best of owners' time, as evidenced by all the bootleg stuff you got here, and it still works. That's a testimony to how good that Merc is, and that's a big reason to why I bought my Merc. A lot of this is just fine-tuning now. We got the bulk of this done. It really is in large bulk done. We're going to do the face plate for the front there. We're going to install the trolling motor on probably tomorrow. We got the trolling motor vid coming up. We have the cleaning up. We have the intricacy of the Bass Tracker hatch, which is like the crown jewel. All you people with Bass Tracker Heritages and Classics, you don't have the real OG. What we have is the real OG tracker here, and we have that, and we're totally going to revamp that and make it look sweet when we put that back there. My favorite mod of all time in any of my boats, the dual day box hatches on the side of the trolling motor recess, mount. I have brought them back. They are back. They are better than ever. They are larger than ever. They are indestructible. Like, you own your fishing experiences with 2 day boxes right here. You literally don't have to go anywhere in the boat. That's 10 gallons of storage. If he can't stick 10 gallons of whatever he's going to use initially for his day, and he's more one of those fear the guy with the one rod fishermen, so really I think tackle, drinks, GoPro stuff, whatever he wants to stick in there, he'll stick it in there at will. Open it up, new bait. Open it up, worm bag. Open it up, whatever. The pizza sauce, the bait attractants, the sunblock, the drinks. He could really just make one of those, as long as he doesn't run actual ice, just runs ice packs. He can just stick drinks in there. Stick whatever he wants in there. Pretty freaking sweet. We might put another cup holder there. We put one there. We might put another one there. Just because I just thought about it, it would probably be a pretty sweet deal just to put one there. And we're going to run a little thing over here. Once we get the trolling motor, I'm going to get the trolling motor in here before I do it so I can custom fit it. But we'll be working on that today, getting that all together. He'll have a little 24 volt gauge readout so he can constantly know what his readout is. And how we're rigging the trolling motor. We're going to do a specific video on the trolling motor. I've gotten a lot of requests on that. I've never done it. It's just one of those things I kind of just went through in the motions, but I'm going to do it. This video series, this playlist is the largest playlist I have on this boat. It's probably close to 20 videos now. It'll be over 20 videos by the time it's done. And after this playlist, between this playlist and the Smoker Craft, if you can't build a boat DIY style, then you seriously look at going to Bass Pro and checking out, a tracker there. I don't know what to tell you. But here we go, guys. Wait for the ending product. Wait for this all to become finished. Stand by. It's going to get serious.